lo, for he came down, and he said unto the masses, Speaketh not, unless you know your shit. Commandment number 2, thou shalt know thy shit. Period. Now, before any of you smooth little ignoramus call me on a redundancy, let me stipulate and clarify that knowing your shit and gathering research are two completely different things. Knowing your shit and researching your subject are two entirely different things. Though related, they're not the same. You can have all the research, all the data, and all the backup and scientific documentation in the world, and it does not mean one fuck of an iota if you don't know how to synthesize and interpret it. If you don't know how to synthesize and interpret it and put it into coherent words that not only you understand but other people can understand, then you're useless as a ranter. Doesn't mean you're useless as a human being, although I suspect the same is true. It simply means you're useless as a ranter. You don't belong doing it. By the same token, don't go and try to rant about something that you know nothing about. I, for instance, would not rant about anything having to do with automobiles. I am mechanically inept completely. I can change oil, I can change a tire, I can do basic stuff that I need to do if it's absolutely positively necessary. If it's not absolutely positively necessary, I've got a guy that does that stuff for me. So I wouldn't do a rant about why one particular motor, engine, or automobile is inferior in comparison to another, because I don't know that stuff. I don't know any of that kind of thing. So, in that situation, I can do all the research in the world, but scientific data and research are coupled with real-world experience and know-how. And you simply have to know the shit. Period. I mean, going back to that same analogy, I had a 79 Buick with Sabre when I was a kid, and I had a Chilton manual, and I still couldn't get the goddamn thing to run. And I'm an avid reader. I'm a nerd. I'm a bibliophile. And I couldn't get it working. So, there's another great instance of, plenty of research and data and, the creme de la creme at the time of what was, kind of a guide to auto mechanics, and I still couldn't figure it the fuck out because I didn't know my shit. So commandment number 2, know your shit. You can't do a qualitative rant about something you know nothing about. Period. I don't like to say that anything's impossible, because nothing is impossible, but it's highly, highly, highly improbable that you will do a successful rant about something about which you know nothing. Period. It's just the way the world works. I wouldn't do a rant on video games, because although I play video games, I don't know enough about how this one's supposed to operate versus how that one ought to operate, or what have you. Meanwhile, by the same token, you have rants and you have editorial opinions. They're two separate entities. An editorial opinion doesn't have to be substantiated by anything at all. You don't have to have anything that can prove it. It doesn't matter. A rant, something that you're voicing your opinion about, some sort of injustice or something that is wrong that you're pissed off about, you have to be able to prove why it's wrong. And not only do you have to be able to prove why it's wrong, you have to be able to prove and come across as believable as far as why you know why it's wrong. So now you have 2 commandments. The first commandment, thou shalt researchest thine subject. The second commandment, thou shalt knoweth thine shit. Okay? Know what you're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't make anyone believe that you know what you're talking about, don't bother. Shut off the camera, turn off the microphone, and go back to playing World of Warcraft. Because you have no business ranting and raving and, wasting broadband and, wasting 10 minutes of my life that I cannot get back to watch your shit if you don't know what you're talking about. People that rant about being in the 7th grade, hoo-hoo. You know what? 8th grade's even harder. My 7-year-old does algebra and you're pissing and moaning about 7th grade. I'm still pissed off. And I can't believe that we have such soft, little, just useless kids in this school. In this society. Jesus Christ. Ridiculous. But I'm getting off the subject, as I always do. Commandment number 2. Know your shit. If you don't know your shit, don't waste my time. But if you waste my time, I'm going to spotlight you. That's just the way it is. So, research your subject. Know your shit. Okay? Learn it. Know it. Fuck's sake, think about it.